Hello, my friends. Welcome to this 45-minute yin class for the inner groins and outer glutes. A lot of yin practices, we hold the stretches for up to 5 minutes, but today's class, our longest stretch will be 1 minute. We'll move through a decent amount of poses, so use your breath to find and settle into what feels good. We begin today sitting in easy seat, taking the first moment to find our breath. Letting it fill the belly and the chest, expand the lungs, and let it all go. Beginning to calm down the nervous system as we use our breath to relax the shoulders, releasing tension in the jaw, maybe slightly opening the mouth, leaving the day behind, or maybe beginning to start a new one. Find one more big full body breath and gently blink the eyes open if we found them closed, taking the right leg and crossing it over the left, stacking our knees, taking our time to find these cow-face legs, holding on to the foot with the left hand as we reach the right up and find a neck stretch. Using your breath to consciously relax your muscles, drawing the shoulder down away from the ear. Taking notice of how we feel. Maybe we feel extra tight and we're here because we need a little sore leg relief. Or maybe we just want to connect a little bit deeper, open up this deep connective tissue and surrender. Knowing that we can always release this next stretch if it becomes too intense. Finding a few more breaths on this side. Releasing the hips. And on your next breath, gently raise the chest, carefully unravel the legs, and come into bound angle, sending the soles together and knees down. Rooting down through the base of the spine, as we lift up through the crown of the head, finding a nice, long, erect spine. Letting yourself naturally fold a little bit more forward with every deep exhalation. Letting this entire practice unfold organically. There's no reason to force or push anything. Take one deep inhale. Feel the lungs expand, and exhale. Draw the navel into the spine. On your next inhale, gently raise the chest and come into cow face on the other side. If this pose is not accessible to you at this moment, we can always cross one shin in front of the other to still get a nice deep stretch in the outer glute. Making sure to listen to your body first and foremost. Settle in, take your time, and when you feel good, find your next stretch. Dropping the shoulder away from the ear. Taking a quick body scan. Notice if you're holding tension in the hips, and if you are, lovingly release it on this next exhale. Allow yourself to open. On your next inhale, raise the chest, gently uncross the legs, planting the right foot down and crossing the left ankle over the knee, sending the chest towards the legs, grounding down through the hands. We're here for a few breaths before deepening this posture by rolling onto the back. Find your last breath here before gently bending the elbows, lying down on the back, taking the hands behind the right thigh and hugging both legs into the chest. Maybe using the left elbow to gently press open the knee a little bit further, only if it feels good. Emptying the mind as we tune into the body, what's happening to our muscles, feeling the sensations of the breath. And we're going to reverse this sequence on the other side. So maybe we want to straighten the legs and give them a break before switching, crossing the right leg over the left. Noticing any tightness, any sore muscles. But if there's any major pain, we can ease back a little bit. And whenever you're ready, you can gently release the legs, plant the left foot, and come up onto the forearms, making our way into sitting swan, using the hands to press the chest towards the legs. Maybe noticing a difference on this side from reversing the poses, or maybe not. And exhale to uncross the legs, gently cross the feet at the ankles and come through tabletop pose. We can stay here, or we can take a few rounds of cat-cow, waking up the spine, finding this nice anterior and posterior pelvic tilt. And then we can send the hips towards the right heel, finding a stretch along the side body as we press through the palms. And take the hips over to the right. Releasing, coming back up through tabletop to gently step the right foot up in between the hands and make your way into low lunge. Squeezing through the glutes, nice and active. Hands can come to the knee or onto the hips. If this is too intense for the left knee, we can roll up the back of the yoga mat to find a little bit more comfort. We're only here for a few more breaths. And planting the hands on the inside of the foot, come onto the outer edge as you send the knee to the side, as well as the toes. Once you find your position, we can lower down onto the forearms. If that's too much, we can always press back up to the hands or place a block underneath. We're here in this winged dragon for about a minute, so make sure you're completely comfortable and continue to use your breath to release. We don't need to hold on to anything. Let go of mental resistance and relax the body, releasing physical built up tension and tight, sore muscles. Breathe through. Use your exhales consciously. Gently begin to raise the chest, pressing up onto the hands, and heel toe the foot over to the other side of the mat, coming into pigeon pose. Extending the left leg long and melt down into sleeping swan. Really sinking into the right glute. Letting any thoughts that wander in drift away with your next breath. anchoring yourself in the here and now. We can deal with all to-do lists later. This is your time on the mat. We're about to come out of pigeon pose, and this next posture is optional. You can plant the hands, tuck the back toe to lift the knee, press through the palms, and extend the right leg, keeping the hips high, connecting to the core, finding a little bit of strength to balance out the stretch. And exhale, gently come back into tabletop, moving carefully. Left foot comes up and plants in between the hands, low lunge. Lift the chest and settle in. Maybe take a mental check-in. See how you're doing. Maybe something that's been coming up for you. Keeping the hips nice and square for these last 2 breaths. And then gently planting the hands on the inside of the foot and making your way into your winged dragon. Turning the toes out, coming onto the outer edge of the foot. Releasing into the inner groins. Maybe starting to feel nice and open, mentally or physically, maybe both. And if we're still feeling a little stuck or tight, know that I'm proud of you for taking this time for yourself today. For getting on the mat. This is one of our longer holds, so again, make sure you're fully comfortable. And we can always ease out or relax in a nice child pose if it's not. Lifting the chest on your next inhale and gently making your way into pigeon pose. sending the pelvis down into the mat, and exhale, walk the hands out. Finding your breath again and taking comfort in the fact that it's always there to help you just below the surface. We only need to tap into it. Take one last big breath in pigeon pose. If you're taking our optional strength posture, we can inhale and lift the chest. Remembering to tuck the back foot first to lift the knee, press through the palms to extend the leg. Only about 10 seconds here. Squeeze through the glutes and the core, nice and strong. Beautiful. Bend the knees and gently come through tabletop to find frog pose. Keeping the knees in line with the hips, peeking back to see if our heels are in line with the knee. Feet are nice and flexed as we sink down. Finding what version is most comfortable to you, up on the hands, on the forearms, or walking the hands out and melting the chest down. Breathing nice and even. Gently and carefully exit frog pose, finding the knees underneath the hips, and take a little rest in child pose, reaching the fingertips out, finding a nice long spine, sending the hips back. Stay here as long as you need to, and when you're ready, lift up through tabletop, come to sit on the bum and extend the legs for straddle. Flexing the feet, raise the arms high, and exhale to press the shoulders. Active in the quads and the calves as we begin to fold slightly forward. Maybe bringing hands to heart center. Opening up with each breath. Taking our last breath in full straddle pose. Before bending the left leg, placing it in towards the hips and folding over. Maybe stacking the forearms or reaching the fingertips out. Finding what feels good to you. Inhale, lift the chest, walk the fingers back, and exhale, switch the legs. Lift the chest, extend the right leg, gently coming onto the back. Hugging the right knee into the chest, and exhale, taking the big toe coming into half baby. Staying active in the left leg as we let the right drop to the side, knee by the rib cage. Exhale to cross the foot over the chest, and we can cradle the shin, or we can plant the toes or the foot on the other side of the leg to find a reclined half cow face pose. Getting one last glute stretch in for this practice. And on your next exhale, gently cross that right knee over and find a twist, releasing the lower back. With your next breath, gently roll onto the back, hugging the left knee into the chest, before grabbing the big toe for happy baby. Letting gravity do the work for you here. Finishing our last hip opener, we can find your preferred last glute stretch, cradling the shin or our half cow face pose. Always options to make this practice your own, to fit your individual unique needs. And exhale into your twist. Breathing into the lower back. And whenever you're ready, gently roll onto the back, extending both legs and finding corpse pose. Letting the feet open to the edges of the mat as the palms lie up towards the ceiling. Taking these last 2 minutes of our practice to let all of this goodness seep in. We let the limbs become heavy as they draw down into the earth, as the mat lifts up to meet and support us, holding us exactly where we are. Returning to your breath, noticing the sounds it makes as it enters and leaves your body. What it feels like as it flows in and out of your nostrils. Letting the breath flow naturally, your own rhythm. And we can stay here as long as you need to. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today.